gonna look awful the entire time we're talking. So
Yeah?
this is fine.
You mean like you don't already
You look awful
when you're
now. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yow!
Sick, 15 seconds in and I already got a censor.
Well, at least you know where it is. It's at the very beginning. It's what gets cropped out anyway.
You think I cut this?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's installment of the Saturdays Are For the Boys podcast. It is me, your boy, Julio, and with me is Connor.
Yo, what's up?
And Angle.
what's up?
I think we can all agree that coronavirus isn't real, right?
Yo, facts, dude.
Okay. No one I know has it.
What you drinking?
Soda?
Lies.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe her. It is.
Show us the label.
She is.
There's no label.
Fucking turn it around, bitch. I can see it in your hand. Oh my god. Angel! It's not
What is
even
that?
6.
Drinking's at 5. Oh my god.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock. Fuck you.
We got 4
Fun
minutes to
time
go.
somewhere, alright?
My god.
It's been a long day.
Your day started like 3 hours ago. What do you mean?
No, it started 5 hours ago.
And then you went
I
back
woke
to
up
bed.
for like 5 minutes.
Really?
For an hour.
2.
1, because I still got up at 1:30. And I had to go put patio furniture together.
Hate to see it.
Because I'm strong, independent woman.
Shut the fuck up. Just never say
So
it
anyway,
like
as we were
that.
saying,
So, what are we
So-
talking about today?
You know, that's a really good question. Like,
yeah, you ever feel like an NPC waiting to be talked to at a family event?
all the time.
Yeah. What family? You guys have family?
Oh my god.
I mean, not good ones.
Same.
Fair.
We're all just like, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's just like every time you go to a family gathering, you always just kind of like just end up sitting just by yourself somewhere, don't you?
Mhm.
What about you, Hayden?
And-
Do you do that shit? Just
What do you-
fucking sit by yourself somewhere?
Yeah. Like, at family?
Yeah, like family gatherings.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yep.
I just usually wait till they talk to me.
Yeah, it's exactly like you're an NPC. You're just sitting there chilling on your phone. Then somebody comes up and like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're just kind of like, "Oh, you wish to know the location to the bathroom, do you?"
Hmm.
Then you send them on
I
a
am the
fetch. Was like,
bathroom
"Give
oracle."
me a beer from the fridge, and I'll impart you with this knowledge."
You're sending your family members on quests?
I mean, if you're gonna be an NPC, you might as well commit to it.
Dude, if you're going to be an NPC, you're just part of the average population.
Exactly.
Remember when that was a meme? I fucking loved that meme. People getting called NPCs and getting really, really upset.
I mean, a lot of people are NPCs.
True.
Almost everyone's an NPC, and then they don't like when you call them next. They're like, "I have thoughts. I have real thoughts. Really? Name one." Then it's just fucking TV dead in your brain. Oh, I need to take a vitamin.
Fucking boomer.
Hey, fuck you. There's a reason why I'm 6'2" and you're like 5'4". Because I take my vitamins and I'm well nourished. You absolutely
No, because I am very well nourished, okay? It's why my nails are real compared to them dumb fake bitches that have to get them like 30 inches long.
Mhm.
But with that being said, it is not my fault that I started drinking caffeine too early and kind of stunted my own growth.
I mean, I drink caffeine too, not to the extent you did, but
Well, yeah, that's why your shit didn't get stunted.
Yeah.
that's why I'm a fucking towering giant.
You know, I wouldn't go that far, but
I mean,
yeah.
compared to Angela,
You're kind of right.
Angel, don't give me that fucking look. He's got a whole foot on you.
Everybody in this world does.
Yeah.
Can't fucking suplex you though, because I'd hit my own head before hitting yours though.
Feels fucking rough, man.
Looks like I'm just gonna have to. I don't know. I would trip you, but you don't have much. You don't have far to go if you fall.
Yeah.
Who
Dude, I'm
falls
way ahead
anyway?
of you. I trip myself all the time. What do you mean?
Yeah. Who the fuck falls? Oh, that's a story I could tell. How one of my old bosses tripped the old lady at work, and she fucking banged her head on the table.
Oh boy. Please tell.
Okay, so when I lived in Indiana, I worked at this place called Ultra Electronics, and my boss, his name was Matt, and he was like total frat boy douchebag, and I fucking loved it. So he ran my department, but the other department right next to us was run by this old woman named Nancy. So he was telling me this story, like they all fucking hated Nancy because just old boomer catty spreads rumors, like you know how old bitches be. So he was telling me this story about how she tried, like it was like at some event or whatever, and she was like, "Hey man, I'll race you to the lunchroom," and he goes, so he runs, fucking trips her, like full on sweeps out from under her, and here's how he described it: she fucking fell face first into the corner of a table, banged her head off it, and she made no attempt to stop herself. Like she didn't stick her arms out. She was just full timber. Boom.
God, I feel bad for laughing.
God, I was like Jesus, Matt. Like, do you feel bad about it? No. I was like, dude, like you tripped her though. Like, what did you expect? He just goes, who falls? Like nobody falls, and you're not gonna stick your arms out to catch yourself. I don't feel bad.
I mean, is he kind of a dick? Yeah, but like, if you're not gonna make any attempt to try and catch yourself or stop it from happening,
yeah, he said. To quote him, he said she fell like a toddler. Boom.
Just all brain functionality shut off, turned into a fucking tree.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just loading.
Become the tree, it's fine. You're not a tree.
I'm 6'2", Angel. I am a tree.
Oh,
yeah, working there, there was some hectic, or not hectic, it was just some very strange conversation.
Yeah, that's kind of how actually, no, I was going to say that's kind of how it was at Bocce, but Bocce was the exact opposite. It was fairly normal conversation for the most part, but it was hectic situations all the fucking round, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Especially in Dish Pit.
God, dude. Dish Pit. I was in Dish Pit for like a month, and I fucking quit. I hated Viabachi.
Dude, like, once you mastered Dish Pit, it was just a fucking breeze, though.
Like, I wasn't even a month in, and I lashed out at a server because she was being a dumb broad.
Which one?
I don't remember who it was. They're all the same.
Was it the old one?
No, it was a young chick, because she was like, hey, can I get glasses? Like, yeah, sure, I need to finish this load. And like, before you do classes, I have to, like, drain the water and get new shit in there and put in the filter. And then she comes back. No, wait, what was she looking for? No, she was doing for silver. And I was like, yeah, give me a second. And I'm running. And it's like, guy's like, hey, I need this watch right now. It's like, okay. And she's like, hey. And like, she comes back like, hey, where's my silverware? So I smack the machine. I'm like, it's right here. And she's like, she puts her hands up, like, you know how they do, like, whoa, and walks out. And then because I was working with Brett that night, he's like, dude, you can't just do that. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, she's being an asshole. Like, you see, I'm out here up to my ass in work, and you, like, just, I fucking hate servers in general. Like, anyone who works front of house, anyone out there who's listening who's like a server or works front of house, you know how fucking good you have it. Like, you're really gonna break down and cry because you didn't make $200 in tips on a 4-hour shift, and I've been staying in front of a hot, wet dish pit for fucking 8? Get off my dick.
I mean, I'll still take the dish pit over having to deal with customers.
Oh yeah, I'd be such a bad person. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm calling. I'm gonna see how this job, because like Cabela's, if any Karens come up, I'm getting fired. Like that's just the way it is. Because I'm not gonna let myself be fucking degraded and just verbally accosted by some stupid broad.
Felt that.
Or like some old boomer giving me attitude. Like, look, dude, I don't get paid enough to deal with your shit. Either get your fucking ammo and get the hell out. And then they're like, my boss go, hey, you can't talk to them that way. What? But they can talk to me that way.
Pretty much, yeah, dude. Customer's always right,
Whatever.
don't you know?
Customer,
Give me
no.
that shit.
This maybe the customer was always right when customers were decent. But then they started getting catered to, and now it's just like, oh Christ.
No, dude, it's because everybody forgot what the customer is always right was actually fucking created for.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to represent supply and demand, where the customer's always right and how things are gonna sell.
Yeah.
So like you kind of just gotta cater your needs, like how you're selling shit to the customer and how they're buying things, not to the actual service experience.
Yeah. That makes sense. But then again, like I said too, I've said this multiple times, not even the customer knows what they want.
Exactly.
So.
But that saying was just referring to the customer as like the general population instead of just every individual.
Mm-hmm. Every idiot.
Yeah.
Ugh. There's a lot of those.
Honestly.
That was like when I was working at Spirit. I remember the one day of having to put an 8-foot Pennywise together, and then literally the next, not even later that day, because she called to get it the next morning, and I had to take it down the next morning. She said she wanted it, and it was the only one we had at the time.
Oh my god.
So it took me an entire day to put it together, and I had to get it done in like 20 minutes for her to come pick it up the next morning and stick it back in the box.
Cringe.
And I was like, I no. Why?
This ain't it, Chief.
Never.
This is not at all.
think I'm gonna lose my shit.
And then it was for her son too, so she was like, I don't know if this is really the one he wants or like what it was actually supposed to be. And we're like, do you have a picture of the one that he wanted? And she's like, no, but I'll call him.
Yeah, do that, lady. Call him,
Yeah.
please.
She
Please
called him and
do.
she was like, is this the right name of it? And he's like, I think so. I'm not really sure. And I'm like, I swear to God, if he tries to return this tomorrow, I'm gonna
Guaranteed.
end everything.
Guaranteed. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
She realized that we had like another coupon trying to go on too. And because she realized, because anything that's on the floor gets sold at the end of the year.
Okay.
So you can come in and because everything's always like themed. So like when I was working there, it was a shipwrecked theme.
Mhm.
So we had like a bunch of monitors that would have like the like different fish scares on them or interesting mods. And then like the entire front of the store was like this giant ship that was kind of broken down, and that's where like all of the things would sit. You could buy those at the end of the year, all the cardboard cutouts that we had and stuff. So you could come in, write your name down, and then at the end of the year, we go down that list and we call everybody from first to last, and whatever they wanted, they could take.
Uh-huh.
So, she apparently knew that, and also even like the robotics and stuff, if they weren't sold by the end of the year, they get to go out at a discounted price. So she knew that, and so she was like, well, since it was already on the floor, can I get it for that price? And I was like, I literally just put it out yesterday. No.
Right.
I'm like, it hasn't even been on the floor. There's no wear and tear. It wasn't even turned on. And she was like, well, then can I get it at a discounted price for that? Because how do I even know if it works? And I was like, because I've turned it on. Trust me, it works. It literally has just been out for a night and a morning. So, like, nobody's walked past it for it to go off.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, well, she's like, well, what if something doesn't work? Can't I just get it discounted for that? And I'm like, no, because you're still just buying it. There's no discounted price. Either you could use the coupon that you have or you're paying full price. And she was like, oh, okay. She's like, well, you guys have another one going on next week. Like, can't you just tag it onto this one? Or like, what if I come back next week to get it? And I was like, well, this is the only one we have, and we don't know if the next shipment we get is going to have another one in it or not. So,
Ma'am, this is just outrageous. This is just outrageous.
yeah, she was upset. And she's like, whatever, I'll take it.
Fucking Karens.
I was like, and then she also, one of my workers that day too, she had, it was a whole mess that morning, but she had like a shirt on that was kind of showing like all of her tattoos and stuff. And she walked up to her and she was like, you know, you're going to regret those later.
Bro.
Who?
To one of my workers. And she was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, all those tattoos, they're very nice. I'm not going to tell you that they're wrong. You're just going to regret them when you're my age and when you're older. She was like, oh, okay. Well, when that time comes, then I might, but I'm happy with them now. The lady was like, well, okay. And then she was like, she said something else to her as she was walking out the door about like at least she could get a job here. And she was like, dude, I have like 4 other jobs that are perfectly fine. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean?
Fucking customers. Dude.
Yeah.
Fucking epidemic of Karens. They need to be. If you act that way, if you just act like a Karen, you need to be put down. I'm sorry. You're done. You're fired. Go on. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody likes you.
Hayden, have you ever had to deal with a Karen at any of your jobs?
Oh god, yeah. I was at Panera and some fucking old lady is like throwing a bitch fit about like fucking bagels or something. And like throwing a huge fit, like yelling and screaming. And I was seriously just like watching from the doorway. Like, and I was pointing and laughing at her. I was just like, can you? And I was saying pretty loud, like, can you fucking believe how this one's acting? Like, you just don't act that way.
You get fired for that one, or like talk to it all? Or
no, no, they were
Nice.
just like no one said shit to me.
Nice.
Like, I feel like if you act that way in public, you deserve to be ridiculed. You deserve to be shamed. You deserve to be whatever. You don't get to do that. I don't care who you are. If you think you're that fucking important, you deserve to be laughed at. You're lucky someone doesn't beat your ass, too. Like, I love those videos where some Karen's yelling or some bitch is yelling and some random stranger comes up and starts filming them and starts just roasting the fuck out of them or, like, just straight up harassing them. Like, you get what you fucking deserve.
Yeah.
Quote Joker.
I remember by the end of them, and it was always like the Karen, like people that would try to do it. We had we had a stack of coupons that didn't start till like 2 weeks after, but we're supposed to take one and throw it into every single person's bag. And so half the time when they would be standing to check out, they would see the stack there and I would see their hands like slip and grab one and be like, oh, I have this coupon. Do you mind using this?
Yeah, I do mind.
I mean, half the time, like at first when I was just doing that, I'd be like, really? And then they try to hand it back to me. And I'm like, actually, if you look on it, the date is until in 2 weeks. So it's not even going to work even if I tried it. And they'd just be like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, that's why they're here for me to put it into your bag, not for you to just take. I could hand it to you if you wanted to, but normally it just should go in the bag. And they'd kind of be like, oh, well, fuck off. Literally, by the end of it, because I was so sick and tired, I'd see their little hand, like, try to grab one, and I'm like, nice try, but those are actually due till next week. So, and they'd be like, oh, well, I just wanted to grab one to put in my purse. I was like, yeah, they're actually there for me to put in the bag, so if you want to put it in your purse, go ahead, but I can't put another one in here now because you just took yours, so. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if I ever become a business owner, I'm gonna be just probably like the best boss to work for and just the worst the worst thing for customers to deal with.
Yeah.
Like people who I'm tired of people getting their way and being rewarded for acting like assholes. Like you seriously have to look at people like you're raising children. Because they're just big children who never they're still children. They're not adults. They still act like children. Like you're gonna throw a tantrum until you get what you want. Well, you're never gonna get what you want. I'm gonna make sure of that. You don't get to yell and scream and throw shit and I'm gonna call the cops, and then still expect me to like suck your dick. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You do that in the first place?
No, it's working any sort of minimum wage job or any entry level job, anything that deals with customers. That's what they tell you to do. Is basically like, you guys have seen that meme where it's like, "Hi, welcome to Target. What can I get for you? Like, can I help you find anything today? I want you to literally fucking kill yourself. Oh, okay, sir. Let me know if I can help you find anything." And then the manager comes over, is like, "Hey, can I talk to you real quick? So, you didn't kill yourself when the customer asked you to, so I'm gonna have to write you up, and I just need you to sign here. This is just acknowledging that we talked."
Fuck.
Yeah. No.
I know. When I worked at Cold Stone, like my boss, he was kind of like bipolar. Like, if a customer like went off on one of the employees, he would go off on the customer,
Yeah.
but he would also go off on you for the smallest shit.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of stories about the boss, but I do have a couple fucking Karen stories from Cold Stone.
The one that paid like in just gift cards. You told that one.
Yeah, I did tell that one. Fuck that, dude. Still hate
You
that
get
shit.
what you fucking deserve.
Yeah.
Give it about both.
But another one of them was like, so pretty much when customers asked about sizes, we were supposed to like explain the sizes to them, like going by the ounces that we had in the cups. So there was like the 5 ounce, 8 ounce, 12 ounce one.
Mm-hmm.
And this one bitch comes in and she asks about the sizes. Keep in mind the sizes, they're on the ice cream display thing at eye level. It's literally right there. It shows you how much ice cream fits in each cup.
Right.
And people still just look at it and they're like, so what are your sizes like?
Bruh.
So, I explained to them, like, so we go by ounces. We've got the 5 ounce cup, the 8 ounce cup, and the 12 ounce cup. So it's really just however much ice cream you want, and then we put that in the cup, and then we do the fucking toppings and all that shit, and mix it all together. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are pretty cool about that. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. Sounds cool. I'll take, like, the 8 ounce or whatever the fuck they want. This bitch, she says, well, since you go by ounces, I'd like 8 ounces of this ice cream, please. And just being kind of, like, snarky and, like, all sarcastic about it, kind of, like, sounding like they had just, like, pulled some shit or, like, done something,
Yeah, like, yeah, I got you. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, and, like, it's a slow day. Boss isn't there. So I bust out the fucking scale.
Uh-huh.
Zero out the cup. And then just meticulously, like, scoop 8 ounces of ice cream into this shit.
Nice. Just like, yeah, you want to be a twat? I'll treat you like a twat.
It was like, fuck, that's 8.1, my bad. Let me just take a little off the top here.
Is that what you did?
Pretty much. I was
melted
just
down.
I was just taking as long as I possibly could, just to piss them off a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like the only time that ever
That's-
happened, but god damn, it felt so good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, like, the person, like, the manager that I was working with, like, after they left, they're like, you didn't have to do that. And I was like, yeah, I know I didn't have to, but I fucking wanted to, man.
Like, you didn't have to do that. There's a lot of things I don't have to do. I can just suck it up and move on with my life. But why do I always have to suck it up?
Yeah.
I'm tired of that. Like, people, it's like, oh, you're being petty. No, I'm not being petty. I'm fucking... You know, they say do unto others as they do unto you. You want to be an asshole? I'll be an asshole right back. Like, oh, don't sink to their level. I'm not sinking to their level. I'm giving them a taste of their own medicine. Like, I'm not going out of my way to be a turd to someone.
Mhm.
Like, if I was sinking to their level, I'd go do it on some random schmuck. No, I'm treating them like they're treating me. And if they want to treat me like a petulant child, I'm going to treat them the same way.
Yeah.
This is the podcast where all my hate towards random people just comes boiling over.
Pretty much. I don't know. There was, like, one time when I was working at Cold Stone where I actually, like, felt bad for a customer.
Yeah.
And it was literally only because I was handing them their change back. It was like a $5 bill and some change. And I drop it in their hand, all the change hits, the $5 bill hits their hand and then just falls out of their hand into the tip jar.
Oh no.
And like, right, I was about to open my mouth and say, "You can just grab that. I don't care." They had already just fucking walked out the store.
Are you
And,
sure
like-
they weren't trying to throw the tip in there?
No, they weren't. Like, their hand was just out, like, flat, like just like this. And so I just dropped the change in, and the $5 bill just hits and then just fucking slides off into the tip jar.
Mm-hmm.
And I just watched it fall in, and we both look at it. I look back up at them, and right as I'm about to open my mouth, they just fucking Usain Bolt from the cash register to the other side of the store out the door.
Are you sure that was a real person? Are you sure that wasn't like a gray alien in disguise?
Dude, it might have been, like, it was just an awkward moment all around, because I could see in their eyes that they really wanted to just reach into the tip jar and grab the $5.
Just like, fuck it, not worth it, not worth it. Gotta go,
But
gotta
there
go,
were,
gotta go.
like, if there, I feel like if there hadn't been other people in the store at the time, they might have actually done it, but I don't think they wanted other people to maybe see them and then just catch shit for it.
Mhm.
Or they'd feel guilty anyway.
Yeah. I know, I feel like it would have been funnier if they had just, like, looked at it and then just dumped the rest of the change in there too and dips.
Dude, if that happened, and it's like you can just reach in there and grab it. I don't care. I'd be like, thanks, man. Just grab it, like the biggest
entire
fistful
tip
and
jar.
just- Yeah, it's like, you can just grab that if you want. Sweet, and then just take the whole thing with me, just to be that guy.
Yeah.
And that's I am simultaneously the person I hate the most.
Oh, one other fucking story about tips. So, when like at the end of the night at Cold Stone, managers had to like fucking zero out the register and all that. Angel, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hayden, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what zeroing out the register is.
Like-
You got to count all the money.
Yeah, counting
and
the
make sure it
register and all that
matches.
shit. Match all
Matches
that.
the sales. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was one night, dude was like counting everything out, and he just kept coming out under, but he didn't know where the fuck he was coming out under from.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like texting our boss because we can't leave until the register's done.
Yeah.
And at this point, we've been there for like an hour after close. Because he just can't figure out where the fuck it's going wrong.
Like, how off was it?
I don't even remember. I think it was like $5-10 or some shit like that. So like the price of
It's
like
$10.
1 or
Who
2
gives a
bowls of ice
fuck?
cream.
Unless it's over, it's only like I think it's about $5 is what they'll let pass. Past that, you can't. You have to figure out where that money went.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
how
gonna
you
say-
do that.
I want to say it was like $12 or some shit if I want to be exact, but it was probably closer to like 10 or some shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we text the boss. We've been there for an hour past close. And, you know, he doesn't really want to, like, none of us want to be there anymore because everything else is done. It's just the fucking register.
Uh-huh.
And our boss hits back with, all right, yeah, just leave the tips and you guys can go.
Nice.
And
Like,
you're like,
leave the tip.
yeah, just like
Oh.
leave your tips. Like, you guys just don't get tips tonight. You're like, but
What a dickhead.
yeah.
I feel like as a boss that you have to make that sacrifice. Like, if your drawer is $10 off, just throw a 10 in there. It's $10. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, would that not just zero out the register right there? Save everyone's time. Well, we got to figure out where it went wrong. I'm telling you where it went
the
wrong.
boss will never do that. It's on the workers.
Yep.
Don't ask why. It's the stupidest shit ever because that's what kept happening to me constantly. And the lady who was supposed to be like the owner of the store over me, even though I was the store manager, would be like, well, it's on you to put that money back then. And I'm like, at this point, I didn't even carry cash on me half the time. So I was like, I don't fucking have $1 bill to put in. I don't have change to like make up that 10 cents. What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's just not on me. And I'm like, I'm working like 15 hours over than I should be. And you'd rather yell at me about that, but I don't even get paid for it anyway because you don't get paid overtime. So I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's illegal, by the way.
Mm. Mm.
Well, I don't
yeah,
know.
well, then
Angela,
that's why.
like, Angel, you had, like, signed something that basically said, like, you wouldn't get paid for overtime, right? Or,
No.
like, wasn't it, like, part of your fucking job title or whatever the fuck when you got promoted and all that? Because I remember asking you about why the fuck you're not getting paid for overtime, and you had some reason for it.
That was when you become store manager, you get paid a salary. You don't get paid by the hour anymore.
Yeah.
So I just had a fucking set price for the rest of the time, and that was just, I get paid that for the entire week instead of getting paid by the hour that I work per week.
That's ridiculous.
Really is, bro.
But then yeah, their whole thing's fucked up anyway, though, because so as a store manager, I'm supposed to work 45 hours, but everybody else only has to work 20. And if I put them over 20, then that's not good. I have to change everybody else's schedule and make sure that they all have to have the equal amount, and they all have to stay under 20 hours. But I have to make sure that mine is 45.
Jesus.
Okay, well, that's
other workers sucked in the beginning, and I couldn't figure out how to do it because, mind you, I haven't ever been a store manager in my life before. I don't know how to work any of this. They threw me into it with zero explanation. And so because of that, since I was the one with the most open time, I was working 55 hours a week, and everybody else was working like 18.
Christ, dude.
But then, mind you, I don't get paid for those extra hours.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
But then the only thing I got yelled at for actually working overtime, and she's like, "You're gonna need to stop doing that."
Bruh.
And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Cause it's gonna come up on their radar that you're working overtime." And I'm like,
whose problem is
"Because
that?
I am working overtime." I'm like, "There's nobody else to fill these hours." And she's like, "Well, you're gonna have to make other people fill these hours." She's like, "Otherwise, get more workers." I'm like, "You never showed me how to start interviewing people or like where I find the rest of our applications, so I don't know how to continue hiring people." And she's like, "Oh, I didn't? Well, I'll get on that." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I'm sure you will, lady.
Yep.
Fucking.
That same shit with the money happened with me too. That was the worst. The only day I ever took off while I was working there, I never had I had my set days off where obviously I couldn't work during the week because you could only work 45 hours. So she was like, "You have to take 2 days off per week." And I was like,
Okay.
"But I'm used to working every single day in the week now at this point." And she's like, "Yeah, but that's overtime. I can't have you do that anymore. So literally, I'm going to sit here with you. You're going to tell me 2 days that you want off." And I was like, "Okay, but the other people here have other days that they can't get off either." She's like, "Well, they're going to have to make it work." I was like, "Okay." So then finally, the one day I have, because obviously I'm a hairstylist, my own company that I have to do shit. And I explained that to her. And I had already appointments set up because homecoming was coming around. I have a lot of teenagers to do. And so it was the one day I had set off. And I had everything in line. I had the good people working that weekend because it was a Saturday, so I knew we were going to be in a rush and everything. And so I had good people working that way, and I was like, "You're going to be fine. This is the only fucking day I've been gone. It's going to all have to work out." The day beforehand, I realized we didn't have any change left, to which my boss was like, "Well, then you're going to have to call, make the money order, and go pick it up the next morning." And I was like, "But that's my day off." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I can't get over there, so you're going to have to do it." And I was like, "You're supposed to be helping me, and you haven't helped me worth a jack shit." But whatever. So I had called my other assistant manager that was going to be working that day, and I was like, "I'm going to open with you." I was like, "Because I have to run and go get the change." She was like, "Okay." So I called the bank and I was like, "Here's how much I need and everything, and I'm going to bring it in at this time." And they were like, "Okay." Ran over there, got the change, came in, opened with her, and I counted both the registers myself because apparently none of my other workers knew how to count a register correctly. But so I counted both of them. Both registers had $100 in it. And I was like, "Right." And I was like, "Are you set? Are you good?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "Okay." Got back out to the parking lot, got in my car, barely even left the parking lot, and I got a phone call, and I was like, hello? And she's like, so there's $20 missing from one of the registers. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I just had to count it, and there's $20 missing. I was like, that can't be, because I counted it myself, and there's $100 in there. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, this literally, I can't go back, because I was on my way to an appointment. So I was like, we'll figure it out later. It's fine. Shit ton of, like, the 5 other workers that I had working that day all called me one at a time and were like, there's $20 missing. There's $20 missing. I'm like, yeah, I already fucking know. I was like, can somebody just, like, slow down for a minute and actually count the register for me? I'm like, because I know that there's $100 in there. And they're like, well, I don't know what happened. I'm like, listen, I counted it myself. I know what's in there. So either somebody fucking pickpocketed it, I'm like, or you're not counting correctly, which I'm pretty sure is it, because I'm hoping that none of you are actually as bad as you're trying to pretend you're not right now. And they were like, oh, okay. They're like, well, I don't think anybody took it. I didn't see anybody take it. And I was like, well, first of all, there should only be one person per register, and you shouldn't have switched. So, yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm like, but I'll come back later and I'll figure it out. Like 5 minutes away from when I was about to get to my appointment, the one girl who was like closest to me, and I actually like trained her really well and everything, and she like paid attention to me. She was like, hey, so we found $5. So now there's only $15 missing. And I was like, so then it is correct. You're still just not counting it right. And she's like, I don't know. The number just went down to $15 missing instead of 20. And I was
How
like,
do you not know how to count?
I don't know.
Isn't this what they teach in elementary school? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably all the way to 100 if you're lucky.
Yeah, you would think.
Just
I don't know.
take out all the money, count out $10, set it aside in a pile. Make separate piles for every $10.
Otherwise, you count it out and you do markings on a piece of paper. That's why I tell them to do too.
Yeah.
Just to, like, literally mark everything down. Anyways, I get back to the store later after I finish all my appointments and everything. And I had another the other assistant manager that was working that was awful. But she should have been the one to know the most because she was working at an actual retail shop beforehand. So I was like, you know how to work a register. Why are you pretending like you don't know how to work a register? But whatever. So I get there, and she's like, there's still $15 missing. And I said, okay. So I go up to the register, and I looked at the 2 other ones, and I was like, look, I'm closing this register. And I looked at the customers because there was kind of like a little bit of a line. And I'm like, I'm shutting down this register for a minute because I got to do some work on it. So you're only going to be going to this girl. And everybody was like, okay. I literally sat, I pulled the register out, and I counted everything out. And it added up to 100. And I looked back at her, which it was actually like we had $30 over because obviously you're supposed to gain money. So there was like $130 in there. And so I looked at her and I was like, what? So where did the $20 go missing? I'm like, because I'm pretty sure it's here. Or at least you have $100 here and more. And she's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Every time we counted it, it was wrong. I'm like, did you actually count, though? Did anybody shut this computer down and count everything out for a minute? And she was like, well, we were really busy. So I was like, so yeah, you didn't take the time to actually count. That's what went wrong because I'm looking at it and it's fine. And I counted everything twice when I shouldn't have been here at all today. She was like, yeah, okay.
Yes, chef. Sorry, chef. Fucking useless piece of shit.
Seriously, I was like, this is the one fucking day I've requested since the moment I started working here. I was like, I can't be here today. And I got nonstop calls, and I went there twice that day. And I tried to tell my store located manager or boss, I guess, about it. And she was like, well, I can't get over there, so you're going to have to solve it. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be there today. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm busy too. I'm like, I have my own job, you know. I have another work. This isn't just what I do. And she's like, yeah, well, this is what's most important right now. And I was like, you know what, go fuck yourself. I
Oh,
swear to
fuck yourself,
God.
lady.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Mhm. So yeah, I was like pissed at everybody after that. But then at the same time, they were trying to be mad at me because I was like, well, then somebody picked up the money. And they were like, why would you think that of us? We didn't pick anything up. I was like, how the fuck do I count it? And there's $100 and not even 5 minutes of me getting out of the park. There's $20 missing.
Seriously.
Make it
I'm like,
make
that doesn't
sense.
make sense. Yeah. I'm like, so yeah, the two main things is either somebody took it or somebody's being retarded.
No.
And it's always the person being retarded. That's no
Every
matter
time, dude.
what you do. That's it. You're just a big fucking doofus.
Yeah.
You big doofus.
Okay. Would you guys be
Huh.
cool with cutting this one short? Because apparently my mom decided that she wanted to like go pick up food and asked me to go with her. So I was like, yeah, sure. Thinking like, you know, we wouldn't be going for like another hour at least, since we always eat late as fuck.
Yeah.
And then she texted me 5 minutes ago and just says, so the food's gonna be ready at 6, which means we're leaving at 5:40, and it's currently 5:35.
Well,
Yeah.
What time are we at now?
We're at 40 minutes, so it would be like a short episode, but
Okay.
it's
Yeah, we
not
can
like
just-
super short. It wouldn't be like we only recorded for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Not the. Okay, first of all, guys, before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsor, NordVPN, for sponsoring us with a
Fuck
short episode.
off.
But before I introduce our sponsor, NordVPN, I'd like to introduce to you a brand new game called Raid
No,
Shadow.
motherfucker.
there it is. There
I
we go.
hate you so much.
All right. Anyway, well, y'all can thank Connor's mother for cutting this one short.
Yo.
Anyway, so thank you guys so much.
Video.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's Saturdays for the Boys podcast, short, ranty, angy edition.
Pretty much.
I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts, at least. I don't know what's my name this time around. Rick, short for Ricardo, and with me is Connor.
Yo, you can find me everywhere at Phoenix_edits. If you're watching or listening to this podcast on some whatever platform you listen to it on, if you could rate and review it, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's Angelino Badabino over there.
Yeah. Known E_girl. I'm fucking everything now. So, having one full persona. Let's go.
All right, thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week when we
Take fat clouds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cough at the end.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I'm out.
All right, see you guys.
Nice.
See.